Hi, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas, on Thursday, February the 15th. Not a good day, not a good day to say the least, after this horrific shooting in Florida last night or yesterday afternoon. Obviously, our thoughts and prayers are with the family and that community. You know, whenever something like this happens, it obviously affects all of us because all of us at one time had children in school, or maybe some of you have kids in school. So obviously, I understand how this impacts you. But there's a couple of things that I wanted to say today because the first one is it's almost automatic. It's almost like these Democrats have a speech in their pocket here. And every time a tragedy like this occurs, they pull out the speech and they run to the Senate floor and they give a speech about gun control. Well, it's the same speech, by the way, they always give. The speech doesn't change much. The only thing that changes, of course, is wherever the incident happened, but it's the same speech. And the irony of all of this, or what makes me angry about all of this, is that these are the same Democrats who didn't make any of these changes when they had majorities in the House and in the Senate. They didn't pass any of these things when they had majorities in the Senate or in the House. So now that they're not in the majority anymore, I guess now they get to go give speeches about gun control. So if they didn't do anything about it, if they didn't bring about any of these changes, it just sounds a little bit politically expedient for me to believe that they are sincerely interested in the topic. The second issue that I have is that this is a lot more complicated than simply talking about guns. Look, guns are a fact of life. We've had guns going back to the Second Amendment, 1787, when it was approved. We've had generation after generation of people who have guns in the United States. But we didn't have these shootings 20 years or 25 years ago. You know, I went to school here in the United States. I went to junior high, middle school, high school, college, university, and we didn't have these shootings. We didn't have these problems. So I think maybe the issue is a lot more complicated than just guns. So let me just give you a couple of thoughts. I think that we have a cultural problem. I think we have a problem inside, if you will. Our inside is a bit rotten, if I could put it that way, from the culture, a culture that tolerates abortion, culture where abortion is a right, the taking of a human life is a right. If you stand up and you say, no, abortion is the taking of a human life, they immediately come at you and say that you don't care about women and you don't care about their reproductive rights, whatever that means. We also have a culture where you have all these video games. And I remember when my sons, I don't know, 5, 7 years ago, when they were in that age, where I would watch some of these games and say, what are you watching? And I would not allow them to watch those games. I mean, when you have people shooting each other without any consequence, yet, you know, you've got young people around the country who are constantly watching this. I think there's also an indifference for some of these young people who have mental health issues. I mean, this young man in Florida, I mean, this guy, this is like a young man who had a piece of paper on his forehead that said, I'm going to kill people. I'm going to kill people. So how this young man was not supervised is beyond me. How this young man can walk into a school where he already had a history of trouble, walk into the school without any consequence, it just amazes me. It just amazes me. I think that, you know, the school districts need to look into that, and maybe I have always favored having guards in school if necessary to at least prevent this kind of problem from happening. I don't have a problem with that, but I think overall, I think it's way too convenient and way too politically expedient to simply jump on the gun control wagon. Look, gun control is always an interesting issue in the abstract, but when you get down to specifics, that's where the whole thing falls apart. What law would have stopped this in Florida? Can somebody tell me what law would have stopped this? They can't, because there is no way that you're going to stop someone who's this mentally unstable from walking with a gun into a school when nobody is there at the school to protect the school. So it seems to me that we should be addressing other problems, not just go into another gun control debate and have all these speeches about gun control. I think we got bigger problems than that, many more bigger problems than just passing another gun law. Anyway, sad day, as I say. I don't mean to have all the answers, but I know one thing. This is a lot more complicated than just talking about gun control. Have a good day, everybody. This is Silvio Canto in Dallas. We have all of these commentaries in Twitter. We have them on YouTube, and we have them on my blog. Have a good day, and again, very sad day for that community in Florida. Bye-bye, everybody.